a little later here. And notice we do have our icons here. I do have a few programs that I installed. And so we still have our icons available on our desktop. They'll show up here for us. Another thing to notice is that our start menu is normally over here, but it's not. And what Windows 11 has done is kind of centered everything for us over here. And we still have our notification area over here to the bottom right. We do not have a specific notification area icon, but what we'll see later is we kind of interact with these different icons here. They will open up that notification area for us. So here's our start menu. It's moved over here. We can actually move this back to the left if we want to. Here's our search bar. We can search for programs. And we have this option here where we can kind of open different virtual desktops. So we can kind of work separately. And we have our widgets here. And notice that Microsoft Teams is built into Windows 11. We can still access our folders by clicking on the folder icon here. And Microsoft Edge is the default browser for Windows 11. And finally, we have our Microsoft Store here. Icon has changed a little bit. Looks pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about our desktop here. One of the things I like to do, I like to right click and just to see what my options are. And we still have the capability to just right click and get this really nice menu here where we can pretty much access a lot of the places in terms of customizing our look and feel. So I can go ahead and change the size of my icons if I want to. Right now my icons are small. So maybe I want to make them medium. And we see that they changed to medium for me here. I'll go ahead and right click again. And maybe I want to see large. And make note of the actual shortcut key. So if I want large desktop icons, I can press Control-Shift-2. That'll give me large. Control-Shift-3 will give me medium. Control-Shift-4 will give me small. We'll go back to large here. Wow, these are really, really big. Yep, I'll go ahead and put those back to medium. I like it like that. Let's see what else is in this menu. So just interacting with our icons here, we can notice my icons are auto arranged. They are aligned to the grid. And I'm currently showing my desktop icons. So if I don't want to see my desktop icons, I can just unclick right here. And notice my icons are gone. If I want to put those back, I'll go ahead and right click again. And I'll just go ahead and show those icons. Now, I can turn off some of these features, such as auto arrange. Okay, so now what I can do is I can kind of move them around to different places if I want to. Okay, and so the auto arrange is very useful when you have a lot of desktop icons. And for me, I like to keep it turned on. So I'll just go ahead and auto arrange that. And it puts it back for me right there on the left. I'll go ahead and continue going through this menu. So the next option here is to sort by. So we can sort our icons here by name, by size, by item type, or even the date that was modified. I'll click on name. And it is somewhat sorted by name here. Let me try a different option. Be by size. Let's see, date modified. So it's really up to you. This is fully customizable. I'll go ahead and put the sort right back here by name. I like to keep it that way as well. Very good. And I'll right click again. We can refresh the desktop if you want to. I have not needed to refresh the desktop since really Windows 7, but the option is there for you. Another thing that we can do, we still have this new menu here where we can create a new folder. So I'll go ahead and create a new folder here. Just click on there. And here's my new folder. So now I can go ahead and just type a name. Maybe I'll put Windows 11 or just Win 11 there. And so it's easier to really create a new folder. Go ahead and right click again. And depending on the folders that you have, the programs that you have installed, you can go ahead and launch or create a new program right here. So if I wanted to create a new Microsoft Word document, I can do it right here from my desktop just by right clicking. And I'll go ahead and give this a name. And I'll call this Win 11 tutorial. So a very useful tool. And again, so we can manipulate the desktop icons, we can create folders, we can create programs right here from our desktop. So go ahead and just check out the taskbar. Go ahead and create a new folder. Go ahead and arrange your icons. Just right click on that menu and make some customizations so that you can have the look and feel that you are accustomed to, and come right back. Welcome back. Well, hopefully you had fun just kind of customizing your desktop icons, and maybe you created a folder and a file as well. Well, now what we want to do is just go ahead and take a look at our start menu. So once again, our start menu has moved from the far left over here, and now it's kind of at the beginning of our center console here. And one thing that Microsoft has done really since Windows 8 is to really provide a kind of hybrid type of operating system. And today, Microsoft is actually referring to Windows 11 as a operating system that was designed for a hybrid experience. So many of us are working from home, and especially if you have a Microsoft Surface computer, which is touchscreen, which kind of doubles as a tablet and a computer, this operating system is perfect for that. Okay? So if you have a really nice mobile setup, then this is perfect for you. And so what we'll notice as we kind of navigate the menus here, what we will see is kind of this transition to a mobile type of experience here. So I'll go ahead and click on my start menu. And we'll just kind of highlight a few things here. Notice at the top that we have our search bar. So we can actually search here. We also have our search bar down here. We can go ahead and use that. So if we want to remove this, we can actually remove that or unpin that from the taskbar a little later. But we do have the option here to search. And what I really like is I don't really use the start menu that much. I just basically just type what I want to look for. If I want to open up PowerPoint, I'll type PowerPoint. PowerPoint will show up for me and I'll be able to open that. So as of Windows 8, I don't really need to, to really drill down into the start menu to find what I'm looking for. So we have some pinned applications here as well. So a lot of these are by default. So we have Edge, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. We have our local basic mail client, which is pretty cool. We have our calendar and a few other things here. We have some apps that came preloaded, such as Spotify, these things here. So we can unpin these if we want to. Okay? But before we do that, what I would like to do is just take a look at this getting started guide here to kind of take a little transition to see what's new in Windows 11. Finally, if you want to see all of our apps, they are right here. Okay? So go ahead and click on the start menu here. Just kind of take a look around and see what applications are available. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove some of these. I'll just go ahead and right click and I'm going to unpin this from my start menu just to kind of get things out of the way here. And again, a lot of these just kind of came with the operating system, some social media applications here. And I just want to kind of remove them. Okay. I think this looks pretty good. I'll go ahead and keep everything else here. Now we do have a small kind of navigation menu over here. It's very subtle, but this is a small scrollable menu. And so just want to go ahead and kind of scroll through that so you can go down and see what else is there as well. We can go to the previous page. Very good. On the bottom, we also have some recommended applications. So a lot of these are just kind of things I've been working on recently. But what I want you to do now is click on the start menu. Go ahead and just kind of remove some apps here that you don't want to use. And then go ahead and click on all the apps. And here we can scroll and we can see all the applications that are installed. And so if you want to, you can go ahead and pin something. Maybe I'll pin this music file here. Go ahead and pin that to the start. And what else do I want to pin here? Maybe I'll pin Microsoft Teams as well. I'll go back here and I should see them here if I go to the next page. There they are. Very good. So go ahead, click on your start menu. Go ahead and remove some pinned applications. Click on all apps and go ahead and add some of your favorite programs by right-clicking and pinning them to your start menu, and come right back. Welcome back. Okay, so let's talk about what's new. So once again, I'll go ahead and click on my start menu here. And we did talk about some of the pin files, all the applications. And right here, I want to take advantage of this. And let's just see what Windows 11 has in store for us. So I'll go ahead and click on Get Started here. And we kind of get this dialogue, right? This kind of wizard here that's taking us on the journey. And it wants me to sign in with my Microsoft account. Now, signing in will allow you to really take advantage of all the features. You can sync across different devices, which is very, very good. I'm not going to sign in right now. I'm going to go ahead and just go to the next menu here. Okay, and so we can go ahead and we can sync our files to OneDrive. Okay, so it does come with Windows 11 that enables us to do that. And so here are some apps, some recommended apps that Microsoft thinks that we'll like. It's from the Microsoft Store. And so if you're a big fan of these social media apps, here's a great place. You can just go ahead and click and then install them right from here. And one thing that has improved with Microsoft Store is that now there are a lot more public apps that you can take advantage of. You don't really need to sign in to install a lot of applications. And here is giving us a little tour of our start menu here, of how we can engage it to kind of search for things. And as I said before, I just like to type in the search box and pull up the actual application. So we do have this option called Focus Assist, and we kind of open that by engaging with the notification area. And we'll kind of take a look at that a little later on. But if you want to go ahead and set this up right now, you can click on this blue button and that will set it up for you. And this really just helps you to manage your notifications. And you have a few options here. You can turn them off, priority only, or alarms only. So you have the capability to customize your notifications just as you would on your phone app. And Microsoft Edge has come a long way from the days of Internet Explorer. They've really made a lot of modifications, and they're really realizing that there are a lot of browsers out there that really have cutting edge technology. And we'll take a look at Microsoft Edge later, some of the features that it offers. And you may want to stick with Microsoft Edge as your default browser. And then we have this option here for widgets. So you can find our widgets here on the bottom. And so these widgets gives you different things from news to stocks to the weather. And it's a nice option if you want to be able to use those widgets. There are various widgets that you can use. Another really cool feature is you can link your Android phone from your PC. So you can do the things you do on your phone right from your PC. Use your favorite phone apps, respond to texts, make calls, view photos, and more. So this is a really, really nice feature that they have as well. We'll try to get into that a little bit later. And of course, as I mentioned before, Microsoft Teams is now built in to Windows 11. So you do have the option there to make calls, to send messages, and to send files as well. And that's it. It says we're all set. So we can either go back home or we can open some tips. I'll go back to the home here and I'll go ahead and close this out. So go ahead and just take that quick tour. And as you're going through the tour, you can actually enable a lot of those features that are there as well. So open that up, go through the tour, and come right back. Welcome back. Well, hopefully you were able to take that guided tour and maybe you were able to implement some of the features that you were being shown there. Let's go ahead and talk about our search bar here. But before we do that, just to kind of finish up with our start menu, I do want to point out a few things here. Here we can go ahead on our start menu, we can go ahead and turn off. We can put our computer to sleep, we can shut it down, or we can restart it. So if you're wondering, hey, where's my power button? This is where it is. We can also go ahead and sign out of our current session. We can lock our screen or we can log in with another user account here as well. Now our search bar is here at the top. And so when I click on the search, we get a more exhaustive list. We have some more options. So notice here, we can do a complete search. And as I said before, maybe I want to open up a application like PowerPoint. So if I just type PowerPoint, from here I can press enter, or I can just go ahead and click on PowerPoint, and that will open PowerPoint for me. So if I just go like that, it's opening PowerPoint for me. I'll go ahead and close that. So we can either search for apps, and it shows frequent apps here that you use, and it shows recent apps down here. And so this is more than just, a search feature. This is really kind of making things more accessible for you and allowing you to be more efficient. So I can search for individual documents. Don't have any documents right now, but as you can see, the coding changed here, the command. Now we have the documents. We can search the web. And we do have more options here. We have more filters. So we have music, photos, settings, and videos. And so very, very nice options as well. Over here, we do have another menu. Here you can go ahead and just kind of add your Microsoft account. We can go ahead and specify the search settings. All right here, just from the search, we can specify the indexing options. I'll click on search settings. And it opens up this privacy and security console for us. And we do have safe search here that's turned on. So we can specify what type of safe search we want. By default, it's set to moderate. But if you want to make it very strict, we can do that as well, or we can completely turn it off. And then we have some cloud content search here. So if you were logged in with your Microsoft account, you can take advantage of a cloud, of searching through your cloud service. And we can go ahead and allow Windows Search to provide results from the apps and services that we are signed into with our Microsoft account. We can show our search history on this device. We can go ahead and clear our device history. So what we're kind of seeing here is integration with, so this search is not just for your computers, for the web, and it's for your cloud-based data source as well. Very good. And from here, we can access other settings as well. So we can access the full settings right from here. Let me go back here. All right. And so that is our search bar, providing us with a lot of options to search. So go ahead and open up your search bar there and do some web searches. Search for an application and open it. And go ahead and try to search for an actual file or a folder. You can go ahead and adjust the settings for your search as well. Play around and come right back. Let's move on to our taskbar. So here's our taskbar here on the bottom. And what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and just kind of highlight some of the areas here. So we have kind of our center console here that has various applications that we can interact with and various commands such as the search bar. And over to our right, we do have our icons here as well, such as our Wi-Fi, our battery, we have our date, and we have our microphone settings here and any other hidden icons here that we're using. But what I want to do, I want to go ahead and right click on my taskbar so I can take a look at the settings so I can customize it a little further. So let's see what options are available. I'll right click on my taskbar. And now in Windows 10, we had a long menu that we would get when we right clicked on the taskbar. For example, we can turn things off right there in the menu by checking them or unchecking them. We could open up the task manager as well. But now we get the settings. So we'll click here. And it brings us to this personalization menu, and specifically for the taskbar. So from here, what we can do, we can go ahead and turn things on or off. So maybe you don't want the search bar here because it's already integrated into our start menu. So maybe I'll go ahead and remove that. So I basically just unpinned it from my taskbar here. And the task view that gives you the different desktops, I'll leave that there. The widgets, I'll leave that on as well. Teams chat, maybe I'll turn that off. Very good. So we can just go ahead and just remove things from our taskbar. Now we can add applications to our taskbar. So if I click on my start menu here and I go to all apps, maybe I want to add Microsoft Access to my taskbar. So what I'll do again, I'll right click, and again, I can either pin it to the start menu, but that's not what I want. I'm going to go to more, and here I can pin it to the taskbar. So if I do this correctly, it should show up down here on my taskbar. And there you go. So there's Microsoft Access. So it's very simple to add programs to your taskbar. Makes it a lot easier so you don't have to go through the menu and find it. So we also have options down here. And we have some taskbar corner icons. Okay. So what this allows us to do is show or hide icons that appear on the corner of our taskbar. So we can show the pen menu. So if I just kind of toggle these off or on, if you have a touch keyboard, we can always show the touch keyboard icon. So as you can see, it shows up down here. If we have a virtual touchpad, we can take advantage of that as well. So these are all options. I'll turn these off. I'm not using any of these right now. Other things that we can personalize is the taskbar corner overflow. So we can choose which icons may appear in the taskbar, or if all others will appear in the taskbar corner overflow menu. And so again, this is just a matter of preference, what you want to see. So I have some these are really kind of programs that start up when you start your computer. So for me, I have this kind of built-in for my computer. This came with my computer OEM. And we have a Windows security icon here. So I can just go ahead and turn these off or on. So maybe for Microsoft Teams. So now I just revealed Microsoft Teams. Now I just revealed OneDrive. So really what's happening here is you can either hide these icons, right, by turning them off. And if you need to access them, you have to click on this menu here so that you can interact with them. Or you can just, reveal them so that they will always show up down here. So it's really up to you. I like to keep them turned off because I don't like my taskbar being flooded with applications here. And then we have our taskbar behaviors. So right now, I was telling you earlier, we can move our taskbar to the left. So right now it is centered. So all of our friends here are in the center of our taskbar. But what if we wanted to go ahead and move them to the left? We can do so. So now, if you want, you can put your start menu right back to the left. So it's really up to you. Notice it does not give us the option to go to the right, because then you'll be crashing into our notification area down here as well. Here's the option. You can automatically hide the taskbar. So it just kind of hides there. You kind of have to move your mouse so that it comes back. I'll leave mine turned on here. And we have some other options here. Okay, so you can show the taskbar on all of your displays. I am using 2 displays, and so I do want to see the taskbar on both of them as well. So these are options that are fully customizable for you. So go ahead and right click on your taskbar. I'm going to put these back in the middle. I like it there. I think it just looks a lot better. So go ahead, right click on your taskbar. Go ahead and adjust these settings. Maybe you want to remove some of these programs here. Maybe you want to add some icons. Maybe you want to kind of auto hide some of these icons that are over here. It's all up to you. You have the ability to customize them. So play around with those settings, pause the video, and come right back. Hopefully you had fun just customizing your taskbar settings there. Now what I want to do, I want to talk about our task view. And right next to I did remove my search bar here, but let's go ahead and talk about our task view. So if you're a multitasker, which many of us are, this was actually available in Windows 10 as well. And this basically allows you to open various desktops here. Okay. And so what I'll do, I'll go ahead and just mouse over it here. And when I mouse over it, it shows me my current desktop, which is default to desktop 1. I can go ahead and create a new desktop. So if I click on this plus sign here, that will bring me to a new view. And that's desktop 2. So what I can do, I can go ahead and right click. Maybe I want to change the name of this here. Why would you want to have more than one desktop that you're working on? Well, maybe you have one just for, I don't know, doing research. Maybe you have another one for learning. So maybe I'll call this one research. And it just really allows you to kind of get things out of the way and keep things organized here. So I called it research. I can also right click on it and I can move it to the left if I want to. I can close it, remove it. But one cool thing that I can do is I can go ahead and choose the background, right? So maybe I'm doing research and I want to have another type of background here. So I can click on choose background. And this brings me back to that personalization menu, but now it's specifically for the background. And even more specifically for the background for my research desktop here. So it gives me the current view of what's happening here. So now I have a few options. I'll just scroll down a little bit here. So I can use a picture if I want to, or I can use a solid color, or I can use a slideshow. So again, it's fully customizable however you want it. We do have some default pictures that comes with Windows 11. So maybe I can try this one if I want to. Get a nice preview. So this is what it would look like. Looks pretty nice. Very, very nice. But maybe I want a solid color. So I'll choose a solid color here. And from here, I can choose different colors that I want to use. Maybe this blue. And so I can do that if I want to. Now, if I want custom colors, I can also add some custom colors by clicking on View Colors. And I have my color palette here. If I want to click more, I can enter the RGB values of those colors if I want to. And I do have the HSV values here that I want as well. So if you're really into colors, there's a lot of options online that provides you a lot of free websites that gives you the color codes, the RGB values for various colors. So maybe you're looking for a specific one. I'm not going to play around with this. Just want to show you that this option is there. I'll go ahead and cancel this. And I think what I'll do is I'll stick to this color here. But what if I'm working at night, right? And I want to use a contrast theme. right? For low vision, light sensitivity. So Microsoft has done a lot just in terms of making these options accessible to us. And you'll notice a lot of these dark or contrasting themes are becoming more and more available, especially on mobile devices where we tend to spend a lot of time. So we have various themes here. We have this desert, we have dusk, we have night sky. And I can scroll down and I can go ahead and choose one of these themes. I'm not going to do that now. It's going to really create an interesting visual as I'm recording here. But you do have these options here. You can check them out and see how you like them. I can go ahead and go back to my themes here. So here, the different themes that I can use. And remember, a theme is just a combination of colors and effects that applies to your experience here. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it here as this blue. So I'll go back. And let's see, I'll go back to my, okay, so here's my research. Now I can go back to my desktop 1 as well. I want to create a new desktop, I can do that. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And let's see if I can create another one here. And I'll choose a background for this one. And I want a picture. And I'll give it this picture here. And I'm good to go. So now I have a few desktops and I can navigate through each one. Here's desktop 1, here's research, and here's desktop 3. Yeah. And I can go ahead and launch individual applications inside of each of those desktops. So go ahead, click on your task view here, create a few desktops, change the layout of each by using a picture, a different picture for your background. Right? Take a look at some of the other contrasting views that we have available and come right back. Welcome back. Well, hopefully you had some fun creating different task views there or different desktops and taking advantage of the customizable options. Well, let's go ahead and talk about our notification area here, or our quick settings area. They're interchangeable here. We've poked around over here a few times, but now let's go ahead and dive in. So the first thing we notice is we have our hidden icons here. And remember, we can right click on the taskbar and kind of specify if we want these to be revealed or to be hidden. I want them to be hidden. If I want to go ahead and close these, I can right click right here and I can actually quit them just like that. Or I can exit. Okay. Now, we do have our similar icons here. So we can see our microphone settings here. If I click on my microphone, I can get some of the settings that relates to my microphone here. I can specify which apps can use my mic as well. And of course, we have our Wi-Fi here. If we click on Wi-Fi, we can specify what connections we want. We can manage it right here. And notice I clicked on Wi-Fi, but I'm getting my full notification menu here. If I click on my speakers, I also get that big menu. And if I click on my battery status, I still get that same menu. So notice we don't have a specific notifications icon as we did in Windows 10, but if we click on one of these icons here, we'll bring up that menu. And we have our date here. So if I click on my date, here I can go ahead and kind of look through my calendar here if I want to. And we do get a separate menu at the top here. So now I can go ahead and I can turn on my focus assist settings, which we'll take a look at in a few. I can adjust my date and time settings, and I can go ahead and change my time zone as well. So this would be a place for you to come to go ahead and make any adjustments to your clock and your date and your time settings. Go ahead and minimize that. So let's open up our notifications pane here. So I'll click here. So One thing I realized with the speakers, so if you have more than one speakers available, usually you would have a toggle where you can kind of go up and down, but now you have to click to the right to kind of reveal your different speakers here. And from here, you can choose your speaker. And you can also click on more volume settings to get more settings for your speakers. I'll go back here. So at this point, what I want to do, I want to just kind of take a look at the options that are here. So here's my Wi-Fi, wireless fidelity. I can go ahead and change my Wi-Fi or manage my Wi-Fi. Here I can toggle my Bluetooth off or on. I can go ahead and enable airplane mode. And again, this is just that keeping the mobile friendly, or the mobile conscious user in mind. This is a very mobile looking menu here. And if you have a Windows phone, which I had for a few years, I used to really like this menu. I would swipe and I would get this menu here. But not everything is showing up. So we have our Wi-Fi, we have our Bluetooth, we have airplane mode, we have our focus assist, we have accessibility options, we have our battery saver, and here we have our brightness level. But I know that some things are missing because I'm used to this menu. So I'll go ahead and click on Edit Quick Settings here. And I can go ahead and remove some things from here if I want to. Maybe my battery saver, I'll unpin that. Don't really want that there. But I want to add some things here. So if I click on Add, so here we go. Here's my night light. Okay. I like to use the night light here, especially when it gets dark at night and I'm working late. I like turning on the night light. So it will, basically block a lot of the blue light emissions that's being transmitted from my monitor. So I can go ahead and add that. Let's see what else I want to add. So there is the battery saver that allows your computer to go into a basic mode based on the amount of battery life that's remaining. We can cast, which I've done often, cast it to your TV. If you have a smart TV, like a Roku device or something of that nature, you can cast your entire desktop or a browser. You can introduce the keyboard layout here if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and enable the mobile hotspot. So I want that to show up. And we have other options here for nearby sharing or projecting. So these options are available here for you. I think I'm done. So I just removed a few and I added a few here. I'll click on done. So here's my night light. I'll go ahead and turn that on. Just kind of removes some of that blue light there. I'll turn it back off. Okay. Here's my mobile hotspot. So here's Focus Assist. From this menu, you can toggle. So you can say priority only, alarms only, or we can turn it off. And what's really cool is from here, you can access all of the settings. So if I click here, open up that menu for me, and I have all of my system settings. So from my display to my sound, notifications, let's talk about Focus Assist here. I'll go ahead and open up this menu. And basically this is designed to help you stay focused. Okay. So right now, Focus Assist is turned off. So right now, I will receive all notifications from my apps and my contacts. They will pop up for me. If I want to go ahead and enable priority only, I can see only selected notifications from the priority list. Or I can just say alarms only, which just hides all notifications except for alarms. And we have the option here to show a summary of what you've missed when Focus Assist was on as well. We have some rules down here that we can establish. So we can say from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. priority only. Okay. And if you're duplicating your display, so it's fully customizable here. When you're playing a game, you can go ahead and enable that as well. And believe it or not, Windows 11 does have a gaming mode, and it's on by default. And what will happen is when you enter a game, it's going to remove processes that are running in the background so that you can have more fun and get things done. So go ahead, spend some time, open up, just click on one of your icons here and go ahead and just modify your notification area. The one last thing before you pause is we still have the option here to show the desktop. So if I were to open an application, maybe I'll just open up a folder here like that. And if I just move my mouse to the bottom right edge, I can trigger the show desktop. And if I click on it, it will minimize everything for me and just show my desktop there. Okay, if I click it again, it's going to reveal everything that I had open. So that option is still there for us. Little, it's not as obvious, but it is there. So go ahead, play around with your notification settings and come right back. Welcome back. Okay, so now that we've talked about our start menu, our task view, we've looked at our task bar settings, we've taken a look at our notifications area. Let's go back to our desktop and take advantage of our right-click menu here. Because one of the things that we like to do is we like to interact with our display settings, especially if you have more than one monitor. You need to come in here and kind of set things up here. So I'll click on display settings here. And notice I am using 2 monitors. Okay. And so we do have the option here of first kind of identifying where our monitors are. So it places a number on our monitor screen. So I know that currently I'm on monitor number 2. And so here is where we can go ahead and make our customizations. So we can go ahead and we can either duplicate the displays, we can extend them, we can only show only on one or show only on monitor 2. So we do have these options here, but it's first you want to be able to identify where your monitor is. So my monitor 2 is to my left and my other monitor is to my right here. And so we can go ahead and we can toggle which one will be the main display. So right now, my monitor 2 is my main display. So notice how this, when I click on monitor 2, it's grayed out. I cannot make it the main display because it's already the main display. But if I click on monitor 1, I can choose to make this the main display. Okay. And if I want to, I can move them around. So I can kind of swap them around like that. But now I just have to be mindful which way my mouse is moving. Make sure I can either go to the left or to the right when I'm navigating. Okay. So we can apply it or we can cancel if you want to. I'll just scroll down here. And we want Windows to remember the Windows location based on the monitor connection. So your Windows 11 will recognize the type of monitor that you're connected to. Okay. And we can minimize windows when a monitor is disconnected. So that option is there for you. You can either turn them on or not. If you connected another display and it's not showing up, you can go ahead and click on detect and it will try to detect it for you and connect to it. And we have other options here. If you have some smart technology in your home, you can connect to a wireless display. Right. And then from here, we can go ahead, adjust the brightness. We can turn on the night light, right? So we can use warmer colors to help block that blue light, which is one of my favorite features here as well. We have some HD recording options here. And we have some scale and some layout. So depending on the size, well, first, depending on your resolution, right now I'm currently using 1920 by 1080, which is HD. So depending on, how your resolution and the size of your monitor, Windows 11 will scale the size of your text, your apps, and other items for you, just so that it's easier for you to see them. So it kind of runs a test for you and says, hey, you know what? We need to be able to, let's scale this to 150%. Otherwise, it'll be very difficult to kind of read the text. So it's kind of doing that in the background for you. We can change the resolution if we want to. Now, notice I do have 2 monitors. So depending on the monitor that you have selected, so if I click on monitor 1 and I can choose the display size, I can go up to 1920 by 1080. And if I choose monitor 2, let's see. So I can go up to there as well. Very good. Okay, and so that's the scaling. And you have the display orientation. Most people leave this as landscape, but if you want to make it portrait, some people turn their monitors long side up and down in the horizontal plane. And that's you can specify that here as well. We do have some advanced display options that you can take advantage of here. And notice you have to kind of select your monitor here. So I have my internal laptop display and I have my display 2. So you have to kind of specify which one you are looking at. Here you can establish the refresh rate here. Okay, mine just caps out at 60. A lot of monitors will cap out at 60 as well, and depending on your display driver as well. So let's go to my internal display, and I only have 60 here. So very good. So here's where you'll just adjust your display options. Very useful if you're using multiple monitors. You can come in here and literally just move things around to the way that you like them. So go ahead and take a look at your display settings. Go ahead and configure your monitors and come right back. Welcome back. Well, we did spend a little time personalizing our different task views here, but we can also access that menu by right-clicking on our desktop and clicking on Personalize. And we can make this a little bigger if we want to. But for personalization, you notice that you will have your entire menu over here on the left. So we can access any of these menu items, which we'll take a look at in a little bit here. But here we can go ahead and select the theme that we want to apply. Or we can scroll down on this list and we can specify the background. We can specify the different colors, effects, or color theme. We can manage our themes right from here. We can personalize what shows up on our lock screen for our touch keyboard. And so there's a lot in here that we can personalize. We did already personalize a few of these items, such as the taskbar and the start menu. But let's go up and let's talk about themes here. So we are currently on a theme. We can change the themes. We can get a nice preview just by clicking on each different theme. We just give it a little time there. And so it's really up to you. You can select the theme that you want. So notice things do look a little differently when you open menus as well. You have different accent colors. So we can set up a slideshow. So right now it is a slideshow. So my screen will change. Maybe I don't want that. Maybe I just want a solid color. And I'll choose maybe a nice neutral color here. Maybe something like this. Yeah. And so I'll go ahead and choose that. And once again, from here, you can take advantage of the contrast themes, just as we did before as well. So these are the different backgrounds that we can interact with here. If I go back to my personalization menu, I can change some colors here if I want to. So I have this mode. I can choose either a light mode, a dark mode, if I want to. And so this is the dark mode. So maybe you prefer to work in the dark mode. This makes a significant difference on your experience here. And if we want to set some transparency effects, we can do that as well. And we have some accent colors. So you can choose automatic accent colors if you want to, which I recommend. It will give you a really nice, contrasting or really good color mixtures here. The same as you would if you were using Microsoft PowerPoint. So we have some Windows colors here that we can use, custom colors. We can decide whether or not we want to show the accent color on the start and the taskbar. So notice how my taskbar changed now to that accent color. And what about title bars and window borders? We can show that there as well. So it's really up to you. You can go ahead and really customize this experience. So I'll go ahead and put these back here. And let's see, I'll go back to my light mode. There's also a custom mode. that you can choose if you want to. Right. But I'll go ahead and put this back to light. Put things kind of back to normal here. There we go. Right. So all these options are available to you. If I go back to personalization, and we've taken a look at most of these here. So what about our lock screen? Okay. So we have our other options here that we can use for our lock screen. This is kind of a preview of what our lock screen would look like right now. So we have the Windows Spotlight. We can use a picture if we want to. We can use a slideshow. Okay, but by default, it's on Windows Spotlight here. And we can choose how apps are, sharing data on our lock screen. We can go ahead and toggle some of these here. We can set up the screen timeout just as we would on our mobile device here. We can go ahead and specify this here as well. We can toggle various power modes from best power efficiency to best performance, or either balanced. It's on balanced by default here. And we have our battery saver that turns on at 20%. So again, very mobile friendly. A lot of these features we will see on our mobile devices as well. I'll go back to my personalization here. And we're just taking a look at the different options available under this menu. We can install fonts if we want to. And once again, we've already taken a look at the start menu and the taskbar settings as well. We have device usage down here. So you can select all the ways you plan to use your device to get personalized tips, ads, and recommendations. Right? So these options are available for you as well. And we always have these little help menus here that gives us more information about these menus that we're interacting with. Right? So go ahead at this point, go ahead and personalize your Windows 11 experience. Select a theme. Maybe you want a background color. Maybe you want a solid color or picture or slideshow. Go ahead and play around with these options here. Spend some time, pause the video, and really customize Windows 11 and make it yours. And come right back.